As I present my President's Report for 2020, I cannot help but commence with the obvious statement that this year certainly has not panned out the way we expected and did not reflect the hope and expectations that were discussed when we gathered last year. We agreed as a collective that we needed to be more relevant, more identifiable, more heroic, more creative, more nurturing, and give ourselves a chance to develop our brand as something that resonates with young people, but also engage society to listen, empower, and inspire our young people. Throughout the year, we've seen challenges beyond what we planned for, but we have also seen great acts of courage, commitment, adaptation, kindness, resolve, and a desire to be part of a solution to ensure that people are safe and the wise recover from the global pandemic. Dare I say it, our actions have reflected the virtues of our brand: heroic, creative, and nurturing. Last year, we spoke about how strong organisations have a culture of being able to simultaneously think of the future while living in the present. 2020 has brought us a challenge of needing to be able to not only live in the present, be ready to deal with whatever the present throws at us, whilst not losing sight and planning for the horizon. Not an easy thing to juggle. As we look to the horizon, we probably will need to remember that we are in the midst of probably the greatest economic challenge since the Great Depression. We understand that prediction and planning and certainty of the process for tomorrow, as we used to do it and as we know it, is almost irrelevant. In the face of uncertainty, we need to be smart. We need to be smart enough and able enough to build multiple scenarios of a plausible and relevant future for our wise and for the movement. We need to do this to ensure that we serve our communities and our young people no matter what happens. One of the significant upsides that I see of living and operating through COVID is that collaboration has been unlocked in ways that we have talked about for years, many years inside the Y. We saw the Australian government form a national cabinet. And although there may be some cracks in what they're doing and how it's operating, I'm sure it will enable the country to remain collectively strong. Across the Y, we have seen collaboration rise. We are seeing outcomes derive from shared resourcing, but even stronger than that have been and will be the outcomes derived from engagement and finding synergy where it exists with each other. In 2019, we didn't plan and we didn't expect the Y to be the founding member of the Out of School Hours Care Council of Australia. We are this voice to government and will strive to advocate effectively for Australia's childcare system, to be innovative and to support specific needs of the sector, the families, the children and the workforce associated with it. The work plan also didn't include for Melinda and others to be speaking and delivering over 45 briefing papers to key Commonwealth and state ministers, dealing with phone calls during the work week but also on the weekends to staff members and ministers. I've seen CEOs step outside their comfort zones and outside their normal operating parameters to provide collective leadership and guidance. They have committed to bringing intergenerational leadership alive and have been prepared to help others at a cost of their own personal time, a significant personal cost for many of them. I'm proud of the fact that we believe in the power of inspired young people. I believe there is no more important time in history for this to be our calling. We exist because we believe young people are powerful when they are inspired. We want our communities and our society to see young people as we do, as powerful change makers that they can be when empowered and listened to. We have commenced this journey with our Reimagination Labs. We want people to say, I must have a Y in my community because of what it stands for and what it does for our young people. I want to thank you all for your contribution this year, be it as a volunteer, an employee, a life governor, a client, or a partner of the Y. I especially wanted to thank my fellow National Board Directors who have made an enormous contribution through time and effort this year. They always turn up to the meetings having read their papers and being ready to debate and explore the opportunities and challenges that the Y presents. I'd like to thank the National Office staff who has also contributed well beyond the level that could be expected. Whilst much of their work is often unseen, they have been vital to the function of not only the National Office, but the movement as a whole across Australia. I also want to thank you, my fellow presidents and board members and management who have contributed an enormous amount of their time to their association and to the movement as a whole. You have all served, sacrificed, explored and challenged, but most of all and most importantly, you have cared throughout this year for the Y community you engage with, and for that I again want to thank you.